Alright, David Harry here. Now recently a company called KIMAFUN, I think that's how you pronounce it, there it is on the front of the packaging there. A company called KIMAFUN got in touch with me and asked me would I like to receive a microphone for free in exchange for an honest review. So I said yes. So just to be very clear here, this microphone that I'm about to review today has been given to me for free in exchange for a review. Now this particular microphone is a radio type microphone, or more precisely a lavalier radio type microphone, and right now this costs about £45 on Amazon in the UK. So it is a really cheap microphone for the type of mic that it is. So what I'm going to do right now is to do an unboxing where I'm going to just tip the camera over, let's see what's in the box, but more importantly I'm then going to go outdoors and I'm going to give it a thorough testing to see, one, what does it sound like, and two, what is it like for its radio distance, or like how far away from the camera can you walk away and it still maintain a proper signal and stuff like that. Okay, so let me get on with the unboxing and then I will go outside and test it. Okay, so just a quick unboxing then. So what I'm going to do is just get the outer wrapper off. So it actually comes in what is a very nice case here as well, really like that. Okay, now when I open this up, oh, look at this, there's tons of stuff in here, so I'm going to quickly just pull all this out and go through it one at a time and explain what it is. Okay, there's a customer thank you contact card, and here's the little tiny manual for the microphone as well, which has got a whole bunch of stuff in here, but quite ominously I can't seem to find the bit where it says how far away you can walk away from your camera when using something like this. Now this is a really cool cable, this one, because this one allows you to plug the receiver into a smartphone as well, and not just that, it allows you to monitor out of a smartphone. So basically microphone and headphone splitter cable for a smartphone. And this is definitely unexpected because this is effectively a USB sound card, or at the very least it's a USB audio interface. As we can see here, USB-A on one end, and then on this end it is the headphone and the microphone input and output for any PC that this is going to be compatible with. And this is a double-ended USB charging cable, so you can just use the one USB power supply to charge both the transmitter and the receiver at the same time. And here is a spare foam filter. But wait, YouTube, there's more. This is a 3.5mm to 1/4" audio adapter. Now finally to the good stuff, and this is the receiver for the wireless system, and on this end here is a TRS 3.5mm jack. And this here is the transmitter with the microphone attached to it as well. And this bit here, this is a clamp system for the microphone and transmitter. Now to use this clip system, which you would normally use as a belt clip, you literally just slide the microphone and the transmitter straight onto it like that, and it locks in, and then you've got a clip for clipping onto your clothing. Now how do you pair these two things together? Well, simply you switch both of them on. They've got two little blue lights banging around there, and eventually both will go solid, as they just have done, and now they are automatically paired. And here is an example of how you use and connect that double-ended USB charging cable. Okay, so what we're looking at there then is absolutely everything, the box and all the stuff that comes inside it. Okay, so just before I shoot outdoors, let's just have a quick look at what it all looks like on the GoPro. So hopefully the camera is going to go into focus there, but as we can see, the receiver is a bit of a deal hanging off the side of the GoPro. However, it is the only way that I can connect it at the moment, and to be honest, I could actually do something with this and adapt something to stick it onto the GoPro and then to also use a cable to connect. However, that is not how most people are going to be able to operate this, so this is exactly how you would connect it to a GoPro Hero9 Black with its media mod straight out of the box. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go outside and let's have a listen to what it is all about. Okay, so outdoors then, testing this wireless system with the GoPro Hero9 Black. And the first thing that I'm going to do here is do my usual, take a little walk along the side of the busy road here, and we'll see what kind of rejection we're getting from the traffic, or more precisely how much louder my voice is being picked up over the traffic, because this is always a good test to see how useful something is going to be when you're in and around, like, you know, fairly loud sounds and stuff. So the hope here is, because the microphone is like well, my voice is the closest thing to the microphone that is making a noise. Hopefully I'm a lot louder than the surrounding noises, so therefore the microphone should have no problem picking me up against the traffic that's around me. So as we can see here, there's a bunch of traffic, cars and vans and stuff like that. So I'll just walk a little bit longer down here. Let's just see what goes on. I'll wait until this traffic starts pulling away from the lights here. Okay, so the traffic's now pulling away from the lights, so we should start hearing all the engines and things like that now. So clearly I am by a road that's got a lot of traffic on. Hopefully we're hearing me okay. Now I'm going to get across this road safely and get into the park. Alright, so I'm now on the bridle path walking up in towards the park, and I will take this opportunity to do that boring thing I sometimes do. When you're doing vlogging and you're crossing a road, whether you think that road is busy or not, stop vlogging. Pay attention to the traffic as you cross that road. Again, whether you think it's busy or not. The easiest thing to do is just leave your camera in record, put it to your side. Don't be talking to it, don't be looking at it. Pay mindful attention to the road as you're crossing it, and then pick up your vlog after you've crossed the road. Okay, so now that Downer Dave has done his thing again there, doing his public information safety film broadcasting, what I'm going to do now is just head on into one of the fields in the park here, and I'll take my little cheap Amazon tripod and do some distance testing and stuff. Let's test the range on the wireless ability of this microphone. But so far anyways, no matter what I've been doing, we are definitely getting a really good idea as to the sound of the microphone, and as to, like, you know, how well it's picking my voice up and stuff. And hopefully when I was by the road, you know, we were probably hopefully picking my voice up quite well against the traffic and stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just find myself a little spot in one of the fields and let me do some distance testing. Okay, so I'm now in one of the fields and I've got the tripod out with the GoPro on top of it. Obviously the receiver's plugged into the GoPro. There is the lavalier element of the microphone, which is then connected to the transmitter. I will show the transmitter as a walk off. We can't see that right now. So right now I am one full arm's length distance away from it. So this is going to be perfectly fine, you know, to do anything with. So if I just do a little bit of a turn around here, and at some point I will be blocking line of sight with my body. So I would imagine maybe that's blocking line of sight about now, somewhere like that. So that there should be perfect. So tiny distance like that, I should be able to move around like this and point and turn around and look at stuff and point at things and talk and do whatnot, and then line myself back up to the camera again. I should be able to do all that at this distance, no problem. Anyways, that's not what I want to test it for. I want to test it for what I think is something reasonable to expect as far as distance is concerned. So that's one full arm's length away, so maybe, I don't know, 2.5 feet, 3 feet, something like that. So let's say 6, 9, 12. Okay, so I'm about 12 feet away there. Now, I know some people are going to think, well, hold on, Dave, that is not a massive distance. And do you know what? For a lot of things, it won't be. However, for using microphones like this and similar mics to it, say, such as, I mean, the one thing that probably springs to mind is the Wireless Go. And we all know what the Wireless Go can act like, you know, as far as the distances are concerned. That is why I am saying things like reasonably expect, because going too far away, these systems seriously are just not going to work that well. However, in this relatively short distance that I am here, I am totally expecting that this will work exactly, like, perfectly, and do everything properly. So once again, I'll do a little bit of a turn around here. Now at this point I am actually in direct line of sight, because there is the transmitter there. It's clipped onto me, like, top pocket there, and then I just cover it over with the t-shirt, so everything's concealed aside from the lavalier itself. Now at this point it's still partially in line of sight. However, now it is totally blocked from line of sight, so I'm blocking line of sight. But hopefully this is all still picking up really well, and I would expect it to. And if it isn't, then I would say that's a failure. I don't know if it has or it hasn't, because I've never done this before with this mic. However, this distance here, I'm saying we should reasonably expect this. And the reason why is because you might be vlogging, as I'm doing right now, and you just want to kind of walk away a little bit, plop the camera down, whether that's on a small tripod on a wall or on a tripod like this, or you may be, like, say, interviewing somebody, or you might just be filming, you know, one of your family or something. They've got the mic on and you're just following them around at a little bit of a distance. So that's the reason why I'm saying this distance should be perfectly reasonable to expect it to be working completely 100% in. And on that point, I'll just kind of move around a little bit in this area in front of the camera. So what I'm doing here is just kind of simulating what somebody might be doing. You could be filming someone, like your kids or anything, do you know what I mean? Could be a family holiday, could be anything. And this distance here, you might want to be over there with the camera, and then somebody's got the mic on them and they're coming over here and they're doing stuff just a little bit away from the camera, and you want to be able to know that whatever it is that they're talking about is being picked up properly by the camera. Okay, so I think this thing here, I'm saying this is reasonable to expect this to be working correctly. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk a bit further away. I totally expect this to cut out now, and I wouldn't feel bad about this now, because if it's done its job at that point there, that for me would be like easily worth 45 quid, as long as it sounds okay as well. Right, so this distance here, I don't know, 40 feet, 40 to 50 feet, whatever it is. Now I'm just going to turn around a little bit here. So I am now blocking line of sight. Can we I'll come back around here. I'm now back into line of sight. I'll walk around a little bit in this area here as well. Let's just see what's. And just to be clear, right now, if this is messing up, that's fine. I'm just giving people an idea of distance. In fact, if I'm doing direct line of sight and it's picking up from here, that will give people an idea of what they could expect from direct line of sight with the camera, with the mic system. However, I'll do this little bit of a twirly thing as I'm coming around and that, just so we can have a little bit more of an idea of what it will and it won't do. Okay, so I think that should do it then for this radio test. So once again, what I've done here is gone to a distance where I'm saying I will be expecting that to completely work. And then that second distance that I've done, if we got anything out of that, that's where I'd be saying, yeah, that's a bonus. So if that was falling all over the place when I went further away, don't worry about that, because I think it's very unreasonable to expect any type of microphone system like this to handle that type of distance completely 100% anyways. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back in, let me have a listen to what it all sounds like tonally and stuff like that. I'll have a little listen to this distance thing and I will do a bit of a summary. Okay, so I've just listened to everything that you've just listened to there. On top of that, I actually went out and did a bit more recording as well after listening to that stuff, just so I could work out a few other things to myself as well before I did this end summary. So, to the end summary. I don't care how much this microphone system costs, as in it is cheap. Regardless of something's price, if it's meant to do a particular job, it should be doing that job like proficiently to a minimal degree, shall we say. This system wasn't, and for three things, and I'll explain it now. First thing is the tone of it. The tone of the microphone just isn't very good. Now, for the money, I could live with that as a caveat if there were not two other issues getting in the way. Issue number two, the microphone clips. Now, as I've just kind of said, I listened to that stuff, but then I went out and did some more testing after editing that piece up, just to be sure of some stuff. Right, what it is, regardless of where the sensitivity thing is on these mics, that up and down arrow thing to do with volume or sensitivity, regardless of that, it is clipping either at the microphone or where the microphone hits the analog to digital converter from within inside the transmitter. It definitely does it. And you could hear that as well, especially more so when I was standing by the road. And that's because I've had to raise my voice up more by the road and stuff, as most people would do. When you're around competing sound sources, you will have to raise your voice to be heard more so. Anyway, so it's definitely clipping. The third thing, and quite possibly where it really falls down, because don't forget this is a wireless system, is when I did the range test, I even chose what a lot of people were probably thinking, but Dave, that Isn't that a little bit too close? I know you're trying to be all fair, but maybe you're just being a bit too close. Maybe it was, I don't know. But even if it was, it still wasn't close enough, was it? It cut out. It cut out when it did the first turn. So yeah, on that basis, it definitely cut out. Now, why is that a bad thing? Well, dead simple, because whether it's you doing stuff like I was on my own, or whether you're filming somebody else, there's not going to be many scenarios where someone is going to stand at a very short distance and always face the camera, or at least have the transmitter in direct line of sight at such a short distance. That is a very rare recording scenario. And to be honest, if that were something that you had to do, then you're too restricted. If I was like, or if you out there have got like a family and you want to say film your kids, so you put the mic on one of your kids and you're following them around, you're not going to say to your kid, look, you have to keep looking at the camera. I know you're trying to show us your pet dinosaur over in the park there, but yeah, you can't turn around and pet your pet dinosaur. You have to turn around and face it. That's not going to work, right? So that's why these things are failures, because you have to be free to do a certain amount of movement with a radio microphone out of line of sight. All this thing like, oh yeah, there's so much line of sight these things can do, that's fine, but that's not what we're too worried about, because it's these shorter distances where we need people to be able to have the freedom to express and to turn around and to do whatever they need to do within the frame. And it definitely failed on that. So those three things it definitely failed at, and there can't be any argument there. There's no argument. I've proven it. So yeah, unfortunately, I think KIMAFUN, you're probably not going to be so happy with with my summary to this video. However, you did ask for an honest review for sending this microphone through, so I've done that. And to anybody who watches my material properly, and they do come to my channel because they expect somebody who's going to be really truthful and not sit on the fence and try and hide in the grey area, then hopefully I'm doing you people a good service as well, because just because I've been sent something for free, I'm never not going to tell the truth. I'm never going to water it down either by the looks of it either. I really am not going to get many people sending me free stuff to do, am I? However, I would rather, have, an audience that appreciate that, rather than, start like BSing people and all that stuff. I am never going to be one of those YouTubers who gets to the end summary. And one of my good friends here is shaking his head, and I know this if he's got this far. But I'm never going to be one of these YouTubers who gets to the end summary and tries to find a balance to something if it's wrong. It's that simple, okay? Yeah, so there we go. That's the end. I'll get off because this has just really gone really sour at the end and whatnot. If people are into the honesty of it all, then yeah, this is a great ending. But to be honest, I'm very disappointed, because I wanted something to come of this, because I would like to be able to say to people, look, there are certain cheap products that are good and they do what they say they're going to do. Unfortunately, this is one of those that doesn't. And to be honest, there aren't really that many out there that do either. You have to be very careful when you're looking at certain cheap products, and this being one of them. Okay, so there we have it then. If anybody disagrees with what I've said there, that's fair enough. There will be links in the description to this video taking you to where you can buy that. So if you want to buy one of them because you've disagreed with what I've said, or if you've heard something in there where you've gone, well, actually, it'll suit me for a particular thing, fill your boots, go and grab one. That's up to you. My advice here is, nah, don't bother. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot off now. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.